Hello, fifth grade family. Happy Thursday. What a beautiful week we have had this week with the sunshine outside. I hope you guys have been getting some fresh air and that you've been staying safe. Let's jump into our lesson. We're going to be in the Google Classroom. We're going to be logging in. You probably have done all of these things already if you're watching this video. And on the stream, we're going to see what our assignment is today. Thankful Thursday. Happy Thursday. Push yourselves today to hit grade level on all of your assignments, on your skills, reading, writing, and vocabulary. Plus, it's Thankful Thursday. Show your gratitude below. I had so much fun reading your answers to what you would want to fall out of the sky if you could have 29 of it yesterday. I saw unicorns, sandwiches, puppies. Somebody wrote nothing because they think the world is good just the way it is. Someone said hand sanitizer. Brilliant. Brilliant answers. So I loved seeing those. Can't wait to see what you are thankful for today. So make sure you add some in the comments down below. Opening our worksheet. And what is it time for, Jeremiah? The do now. Exactly. You're going to write 4 or more sentences. Mason, how many sentences? Not 1, but 4 complete sentences answering the question, what is your favorite way to be creative? Go ahead and pause the video and respond. Press play when you are ready. All right, if you're watching, that means that you're ready. So what I would like for you to do is grab your vocab workbook and open up to page 132. Awesome. That should be page 133. We already used page 132 to learn our new vocab words yesterday. What you're going to do is it should be 134. You are going to do all of page 134, numbers 1 through 12. When you're finished, you're going to highlight this area and you're going to change it to be green to show that you're ready. And then you're going to press play for 10 more pages of our book. All right, if you pressed play, you're ready to read. We left off yesterday on a super intense situation in the book. It's Ernie's 14th birthday, and he was out in the woods doing the shooting like he was sort of persuaded to do. I wouldn't really say that it seemed like Ernie wanted to do this. I think that he was pushed into it by the grown-ups being like, what, are you a chump? Are you a chicken? And that made me feel a little uncomfortable. But when they're in the woods, Crab, Grandpop, Jeannie, and Ernie shoots the gun, and he doesn't hold his wrist locked when he does it, and the gun kicked back and hit him in the face. And where we last left off, Ernie was spitting teeth out. The gun knocked him in the mouth and knocked out at least 3 of his teeth. So now we're going to find out what happens next. We are starting chapter 16. My questions, and please give me an I agree if you have these questions too. How are they going to tell Ernie's parents? Can they fix his teeth? Is he ever going to forgive Grandpop and Crab? Is Grandpop going to change his ways in terms of this gun situation? Is Dad going to come and pick the boys up? What's Grandma going to say? What's Tess going to say? And back to that other question again, what's going to happen to Ernie's teeth? I'm really interested. We're starting today on page 300, and we're going to read to page 310. Chapter 16, voicemail. Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. Sheila is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you are finished recording, hang up or press 1 for more options. Beep. Grandma. Hey, Sheila and Ernest. This is Mama. I'm guessing right now y'all are in the air headed to Jamaica. Listen, we had a little bit of an accident. Ernie did. But don't freak out. He's fine. He's okay. Give me a call when y'all get there, but please don't worry. He's going to be fine. Okay. Love you. Bye-bye. 3 teeth in a beer bottle is a weird thing to look at, but it's even weirder when your grandmother takes that bottle, tips it so all the teeth roll out into a glass of milk. Yes, milk. And then gives that milk to her youngest grandson to hold in the back seat of her car with the strictest directions not to spill it. as she rushes him and her other grandson to the hospital. A dentist would have made sense, but it was the 4th of July. No dentist's offices are opening. Real quick, guys, can you believe that on Ernie's 14th birthday, he got 3 of his teeth knocked out? It's rough. Jeannie stared at the teeth, but he couldn't really see them anymore because they were submerged in the milk. But he stared into the glass, concentrating on not spilling it. It was as if he were carrying the Holy Grail. It was better than staring at Ernie, sitting in the front seat, holding an ice pack on his mouth. Grandma said that the ice would keep the swelling down. Everything Jeannie wanted to do to help, he knew was probably not a good idea. Like, say anything. What was there to say? I'm mad at myself for wanting you to learn how to shoot. I'm mad at Grandpa for making you do this. Which was exactly the way that Grandma was feeling. She made it clear as she laid into Grandpa in their bedroom before we left the house. I knew this was a bad idea, Brooke. I knew it, Grandma had said, her voice shaky and coming from behind the old wooden door. Tess had already left with her father. She looked excited when Jeannie had burst through the door with Grandpop, standing in front of the big old birthday cake, clearly ready to brag about it, ready to hear Ernie brag about shooting. But instead of smiles and laughter, she got blood, tears, and teeth in a bottle. And then Crab hauling her home, quick fast. It was an accident, Mary. He'll be okay. But it didn't have to happen, Grandma went on, fuming. That's what you don't get. The boy didn't want to learn how to shoot. He was scared. You knew it, I knew it. Hell, even Crab knew it. Grandpa mustn't have responded fast enough because Grandma barreled on. But you pushed him. You pushed him like you always do. I didn't push the boy, Mary. You did, Brooke, Grandma shouted. Then brought her voice back down. You did. Just like you pushed Wood. Is your grandson a man now, Brooke? Is he? Then came the jingle of the car keys, and Grandma swept Jeannie and Ernie out the door. As Grandma tore down the bumpy hill, then over and through the winding roads to get to the hospital, Jeannie did his best to hold the glass of milk steady. Ernie did his best to not look at himself in the side view mirror. Grandma did her best to keep her eyes on Ernie and Jeannie both, checking Jeannie in her rear view mirror and glancing over to the passenger seat, occasionally patting Ernie on the knee. She tuned the radio on, but she changed the station from gospel to hip-hop, which on any other day would have been totally cool. But today, Ernie couldn't bob his head. Neither could Jeannie. Today, rap music meant nothing. 20 minutes later, Grandma wheeled the Buick into the hospital parking lot. Inside, people were sitting in Pepto pink chairs with purple diamonds on them, almost every person leaning on the armrests, their chins planted in their palms, their eyes focused on the TV in the corner of the room. We're still hours away from the fireworks show down here at the fairground, but the people are clearly coming in droves. Come on down and claim your spot on the lawn and get ready for North Hills, no, America's brightest night. The newscaster flipped a burger on the grill before they cut to commercial. A man in the waiting room coughed. He sounded like there was broken glass in his throat. A young woman held a bloody towel over her hand. An older woman sat beside her, flipping through the pages of a magazine. She glanced up at the Harrises as they came into the lobby. Hi, my grandson knocked his teeth out, Grandma told the receptionist. Straight to the point. Fill this out, please, the lady said in a voice that must have to say the very same thing 50 times a day. Not nice, but not mean. Jeannie figured she couldn't have wanted to be spending her day at work on the 4th of July. What's the weight? Grandma asked, taking the clipboard with the lady slid across the desk, her voice still stinging with Grandpop's anger. She did a quick glance around the room and then added, 10, 15 minutes? Ma'am, I'm not sure, the lady said, but she should have said forever, because that's what it felt like for Jeannie, who was doing his best to not spill the teeth milk while Grandma filled out Ernie's paperwork. Hope they call us soon, Jeannie said, growing more and more impatient as the doctors and nurses came back and forth, escorting patients through the double doors into the emergency room. Grandma patted Jeannie's knee to comfort him. They will. Jeannie sighed. Seems like we've been here for a month of Sundays. Mary? A voice called out across the room. A doctor. Mary Harris? Is that you? Why, I haven't seen you since you retired. Grandma, you know her? Jeanie asked, very hopefully. The answer came immediately as the doctor walked right over to Grandma, and they went into a huge hug fest. Oh my goodness, you look so good, Mary. You too, Grandma said. She turned to Jeanie and Ernie. Boys, this is Dr. Maris. I've been knowing her a long time. Matter of fact, I remember when she started here. Is this where you used to work? Jeanie asked. Grandma smiled. You got it. 30 years in nursing right here, she said. This old lady's seen a whole lot, even worse than what's going on with you, son, she added, now turning to Ernie. He kept his gaze on the linoleum as she rubbed his back. Way worse. Mary, whose handsome babies? Dr. Maris asked, beaming at them. These are my grandbabies. Jeanie. Hi, Jeanie said. And Ernie. Ernie had a bit of an accident. Nothing from Ernie. Normally, Grandma would have checked him about being respectful, especially to elders, but not this time. Dr. Maris's smile disappeared as she went immediately into the doctor mode. Must be a hospital thing. What happened here? Well, Ernie, he's 14. Today's his birthday, Grandma explained, forcing a frown. He was learning to shoot and the kickback hit him in the mouth and knocked a few of his teeth out. Oh no, Dr. Maris said, hissing as if she knew how terrible the pain was. Do you have the teeth? Jeanie held up the glass of milk as though he were making a toast. Nice to see that you haven't forgotten the tricks, Mary, Dr. Maris said, and now Grandma beamed. Girl, I'd be lying if I said I haven't lost a step, but I am pretty sharp. Grandma ran her hand along her head, brushing her hair back. Cool. Listen, your family around here. Come on back. No. I know you're headed to lunch. Mary, lunch ain't going nowhere. Come on. Dr. Maris led them through the white, hand-sanitized, beeping world of emergency room. Grandma waved at and spoke quickly to some of her old friends. Okay, son, have a seat right there, Dr. Maris said, nodding to a bed and yanking at a curtain to create a fabric wall around them. She took the glass from Jeanie. Now, I might be able to re-implant his teeth. I'll splint them to make sure that they hold steady until they've stabilized in the gums, which could take a while. It won't be pretty, and you're still going to want to take him to see an orthodontist eventually to make sure that things are healing properly once the teeth are secured. Grandma nodded as Dr. Maris slipped her hands in plastic gloves. She poured the milk slowly into a plastic bin, making sure that the teeth stayed in the glass. Then she tapped the glass on her palm until the teeth came rolling into her hand. She set them on a small metal dish, examined them closely. Finally, she gave a nod. Ernie, I need you to help me out a bit here, Dr. Maris said. Be brave. Lift your head for me. He did so, and Dr. Maris pressed her thumb against his chin, opening his mouth. Head back. A little more, she coaxed. She shined a small light in his mouth, lifting his top lip and studying his gum line and the sockets where the teeth had once been. At least the bleeding had stopped. Still, Jeanie looked away. Grandma patted him on the knee to try to calm him down. Okay, 2 of them can go back in, your centrals, or as you know them, your 2 front teeth, Dr. Maris declared, looking pleased. She turned the mini flashlight off. But the left lateral is chipped. A piece of tooth is still there, so that one you're definitely going to have to take up with a dentist. But I'm going to go ahead and re-implant the others. From the corner of his eye, Jeanie watched as Dr. Maris grabbed one of Ernie's teeth and pinched it between 2 fingers. It reminded Jeanie of how he had picked up the pieces of the broken wheel, and he hoped that Ernie's tooth didn't slip from Dr. Maris's grip. Hit the floor and roll somewhere, never to be seen again. Ernie, this is going to hurt a little bit, the doctor warned. Ernie immediately winced and tensed. His hands were closing into tight fists, and Dr. Maris pushed the first tooth back into his gums, like a plug into a socket. Then the other one. She glued brackets onto them and then attached those to what she called the lateral to the right and the upper left cuspid, which is the tooth that looks like a fang. Jeannie watched, fascinated. It was kind of like building a model car, connecting pieces to other pieces, gluing things together to make them work, repairing something that was accidentally broken. Now Dr. Maris was attaching wires to the brackets, and suddenly Ernie, with the boy with the perfect smile, had braces, sorta. When they finally got home, Grandma had no sooner sent Ernie upstairs with the beer bottle containing the half a tooth to lie down with a double dose of pain relievers when the phone rang. Ma and Dad. Grandma quickly filled them in, Jeannie helping with the specifics of what had happened that Grandma wasn't so sure about. Did he take his eye off the target? I mean, was he aiming the gun right? Grandma asked Jeannie, who stood attentively right behind her. Yeah, he was aiming right, but the gun, his wrist just wasn't locked enough, Jeannie explained. His wrist wasn't, she looked at him, locked. Jeannie nodded. Locked, he repeated to Ma, who then repeated it to Dad, who Jeannie figured must have taken the phone immediately because it was Grandma. Because then Grandma said, no, he's okay, Ernest. He'll be okay. We've got him situated right away. Save the two front ones, Grandma paused. Then she said, did Ernie ask to go shooting? Well, no, not directly. What? Another pause and then a heavy sigh. It was a freak accident, but I knew the poor baby was scared. I could see it all over him. He said he didn't want to do it, but you know how it is with your father. And that was when Dad started yelling. Jeannie couldn't make out what he was saying, but he was just saying it loud. I know, son, Grandpa kept repeating. I know. That's where we're going to pause for today. The drama is escalating, and I don't know about you guys, but I feel like we're going to find out soon what Dad's big problem with Grandpa is. All right, go write a journal entry, 4 sentences or more. Mason, 4 sentences. I don't want any more 1-sentence ones, please. And I cannot wait to send you guys comments back on your turned in assignments, thumbs up, and grades in Jupyter. Don't forget, I do send a personal comment on almost everything I grade. So check in to see how that looks and just to answer any questions I might have for you. All right, I look forward to seeing you guys later. Have a great rest of your day.